Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha our Moshiach, his voice. Hear, O Yasharal. Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one Yahuwah. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you the Feast of Tabernacles. Sukkah. Ku-ka. Simply it means hut. Now, brothers and sisters, this may be the last Feast of Tabernacles that you celebrate in the lands of your captivity. So we need to put all of our efforts into learning and carrying this out properly. Here's another thing. A few years ago is when we noticed that something was wrong with our feast days. I asked the question, how did they find their starting points? When you go to the Google machine and you were to type in, say, Feast of Tabernacles 2020, you'll find many different dates. You got the Jews. They lead the pack. How do they start their months? They come from the dark moon. Tell me something. If you look up in the sky, can you see any light? The answer is no. The dark moon represents the prior month. So they're starting their count from the prior month instead of the current month. So they're off right off the top. Then you go to the Israelite brothers. They start their month from the full moon. The full moon comes 15 days later after you spot the renewed moon, or 14 days later. They're going to lead you to the middle of the month to start your count to the feast. Then you have those who start their year from the solar calendar, and they count their months in 30-day increments. How do you find your feast from there? Well, they just do a count. The moon is not even in the equation. Then you have those who start from the slither of light. First light. Now, in our research, we went through every single observance. From the Jews, the Israelite brothers, the people on the solar calendar. Then we went to the slither of light. We matched them all to the book. We went through every scripture in the book about the Sabbaths and the feast days. Then we went to the book of Enoch, as you know it, and we found all of the information in order to find Yah's day. But we ran into a problem. We found out that our brothers and our sisters don't believe in the book of Enoch. The Europeans and their leaders told them that the book of Enoch is not valid. The book of Enoch has errors, they say. The book of Enoch is not canon. That means it's not connected to the scriptures. Who made that observation? Your enemies. So what we did was set out to prove the book of Enoch. Spent a whole year out there in the streets looking up in the sky, watching the lunations of the moon and comparing it to Enoch. And guess what? spot on. That's how I know where the moon is going to be in any time of the year. Now, why do they say the book of Enoch is not valid? Your enemy said so. But Yah says that this book, the book of Tanakh, was written for a righteous race that would arise in the last days, those who would come to his time. If you believe that the book of Enoch is not valid, then you're not a part of this righteous race that would arise in the last days. If you throw out the book of Tanakh, you might as well throw out your Old Testament and your New Testament, because they're all full of errors and lies. The Europeans changed things around, changed the names, took your father's name out the book, took your names out the book. They created doctrines and put them in the book. They put their fables and their stories in our book. Well, Brother David, what must we do? The Father told you you have to study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed. Listen what he said, rightly dividing the word of truth. So there's going to be some lies in there. You have to divide the truth from the lie. How do you do that, Brother David? Out of the mouth of 2 and 3 witnesses shall every word be established. The new is in the old contained, the old is in the new explained. As long as you know all of these things, you can come to the truth, because you're going to go line by line, precept by precept, here a little, there a little. If you're reading this book like a novel, you have failed yourself. All right, so through all of our investigation, we found that the only way to find Yah's days is through first light. Light is first shined upon the moon. The moon doesn't have any light. The sun transfers its light to the moon in increments, 1/2 of a 7th part, which equals 1/14th part of light. In 14 days, your light becomes full, and then it begins to wane, turns dark, and then your month starts over again once you have witnessed first light. Now, that is the accurate way to do it. There is no other way. We've compared every other way. And the only way to go is first light. Okay? Now the Jews. A year ago, they added a 13th month to the calendar. So everyone who were spotting the slither of light to find their days went with the Jews, because the Jews said the barley harvest was not ripe, so they had to postpone the month till the next month. So all of those who have been spotting the renewed moon, first light that is, the slither of light, now are following the Jews with their additional month. So even then, they're still not on Yahuwah's time. But brothers and sisters, we are. This is the sign. This is the mark that you belong to him. You have to be on his time. Do you have your mark, his mark, in your forehead, in your cerebral cortex, the frontal lobe, which is responsible for making decisions and judgments? Has your judgment, or is it flawed because you're going around from this person to that person, but yet you have not done your own independent investigation, and if you have not by now, you have dropped the ball, because we're dealing with a lot of deception. Now, to the picture. Look at these beautiful ladies. They are migrants from Ethiopia. Right now, they are currently in Yemen. Yemen is war-torn. Our brothers and sisters are in Yemen. They call them the marginal people. Look them up. They are being starved out, worn out. the beast, the man of sin, is going to wear out the saints, and he's doing so. But these women came from Ethiopia. They migrated to Yemen looking for work and got trapped there. So what did they do? Did they rent an apartment? No, look what they did. They built a hut. Sukkah. Kukkah. And that is a dwelling place. Look at their faces. They're from Ethiopia now. When I looked at them, I says, they look like us. Don't they? I know women who look like just about all of these women here in this picture. My wife, she's from Haiti. She came in later on in the afternoon and I showed her the picture. She said, oh, these are Haitians. So she said they're Haitians because they look like her people from Haiti. I said they're us because they look like us here in America. Yah says, didn't I say you look like these Ethiopians, O children of Yasharal? We have proof that the children of Yasharal were not European. They were people of color. Let's begin this lesson. Wayakara. Uyakara. Chapter 23. Does that sound anything like Leviticus to you? Why didn't they put Wayakara here instead of Leviticus? Brother Kuya said it best on the comment board. See the suffix, that US at the end? Speaks of their God. They put their gods in our book. Look, Zeus. Hey, Zeus. Jesus. 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 If you are called by our Father's name, you would be Yah. What does he call us? Yah Sharol. So brothers and sisters, if you have the correct transliteration, then you can find the true meaning of the word. Look at the word Wayakara. You see the Wa or the Wu? It means tent. Yah, master of the universe. Kara, meets with us. All right, let's put it together in a sentence. In the tent, Yah meets with us. Hold it. Who does he meet with in the tent? The tabernacle. In the wilderness. The Levites. The priesthood. Hold it 1 second. Leviticus, Levi, Levites. If Leviticus is improper, that means that Levi is improper, correct? What would be the proper transliteration for the name of this person? It would be Lauya or Lawaya. Hey, if you got the right transliteration, you can actually get the meaning of the word. The Lamed means shepherd's staff. The Wa or the Wu, as we know already, means tent. And the last part of the word is Yah. Lauya, Lawaya. Let's put it in a sentence. The shepherd with the staff in the tent meets with Yah. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? Verse 33. And the Lord, H3068, stop. H3068, under this number, is your father's name. They have demoted your father just to a number. His name is Yahuwah. He has been replaced over 7,000 times with the Lord, Adonai, God, Jesus, Jehovah. He's been wiped out. Just like they wiped him out of that name they got, Leviticus, and put their God there. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, verse 34, speak unto the children of Israel. Hold it. Stop. Who's this Israel? Israel is not a translation, nor is it a transliteration of this name. It's just a replacement. You see the number H347A, transliterated from yourself for yourself from the Hebrew. You're going to get Yasharol. Why did they put Israel here? Because they're not us. They're serving someone else. Saying the 15th day of this 7th month. We got to stop again. How do you find the 15th day of the month? Will you find it on the Gregorian calendar? No, you won't. You have to look up in the sky. You start from first light, slither. 1/2 of a 7th part equals 1/14th part of light. Every day equals 1/14th part of light. And in 15 days, the light has become full and begins to wane. So the only way to find the 15th day is to start from the slither of light. Can you find the 15th day starting from the dark moon? No, you cannot. The dark moon represents the prior month. You do not start your count from the prior month. You start your count from the beginning of the month when you see first light, when the moon is reborn. Of this 7th month, how do you find the 7th month? The Europeans said we start our year from January, but we started ours from March. We know that you can find the first month of the year in the month of Abib, as they call it. Yahuwah calls it the first month. How do you know you have the right month? The spring equinox will be in that month. The moon comes in 10 days before the sun comes out. So therefore, the moon will come out first. Then you have the spring equinox, and you know you're in the right month. Now, what the Jews have done is that they added a 13th month to the calendar last year. They said the barley harvest did not come out right, and they added a 13th month. So we asked the question, is there a statute in the scriptures that if the barley harvest does not come out right, that you add a 13th month to the calendar? The answer to that is no. If you were to ask the rabbis or any of them those things, they would be stumped. Here's another problem. They say that the 7th month of the year, the Jews I'm talking about, is their Jewish New Year. They didn't say Yasharolite. They said Jewish New Year. So that's their New Year. If you follow them, you will go down with them. Shall be the Feast of Tabernacles. Look at the number, H5521. We're going to get back with that. For 7 days unto H3068 Yahuwah. So you're to hold this feast unto Yahuwah. Verse 35. On the first day. Are they talking about the first day of the year? Are they talking about the first day of the month? No. They're speaking of the first day of the feast, which is on the 15th day of the month. Shall be an holy convocation. What is a convocation? It is a gathering. Can we gather? No, we cannot. We have no Lauya. We're in the lands of our captivity. Our temple at this moment is desolate. So what do? Stay in your homes. Can we have a big gathering in our homes this year? No, we can't. The plague is in the land. So be careful. Leave it for only your intermediate family. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Okay. Anytime you see no servile work therein, that means you can't go to work. But in your home, you can work because you're preparing for a party. You can bake, you can boil, you can kindle a fire, you can eat, drink, and be merry. He takes away the restrictions so that you can have a good time. Do you know that on the 15th day of the month is our normal Shabbat? All of your feast days will fall on a normal Shabbat except for one. that is the day of Pentecost, as they call it, it comes the day after. Verse 36, 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto H3068. Okay, so for 7 days we have to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. Hey, can we do that? Well, we're not in the land. The temple is desolate. We have not identified Lahuya or Lawaya, so therefore we can't carry this out. What do we do, Brother David? Nothing. Yahusha, our Mashiach, is right now in heavenly realms, carrying this all out on your behalf. He is your advocate. He is your priest. Hey, there's been an amendment to the law. The priesthood has been transferred from Lahuya to the tribe of Uda, to our Mashiach, Yahusha. On the 8th day shall be another holy convocation, a gathering. As we know, we can't gather. We have to stay in our homes. Be very careful what you do this year. The plague is in the land unto you. And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto H3068. That name is Yahuwah. It is a solemn assembly. And ye shall do no servile work therein. So you cannot go to work on the first day of the feast and on the 8th day of the feast. Everything in between, you can go to work. Hey, did you notice that we bypassed the normal weekly Sabbath and transferred it to the 8th day? Who did that? Yahuwah. Can he do that? Yes, he can. Who created the law? He did. Who dictates the terms? He does. So if we follow what he says exactly, we are on the right track. Strong's definitions. What was the number again? H5521. What did it represent? Tabernacles. Look at the Hebrew word. Kuka. Hey, Shakara. Remember, we said this word over and over and over again last year. Look at the phonetic breakdown. Sukkah. All right. I wondered, how did they get this? You're going to see what I'm saying in a few seconds. Look at the Hebrew script. Hebrew reads from right to left. The first letter is a sin. How is it pronounced? S, like an S. The second letter is a kaf. How is it pronounced? Ka. The last letter, the third letter, is a hey. How is it pronounced? Ha. Okay, so we're going to put our vowel in between the sin and the kaf, which is an ah sound, and between the kaf and the hey, which is another ah sound, and what do we get? Sa, ka. Are you with me? In the Bantu language, the first letter, sin, is called a simako. See how similar it is? But in the Bantu language, it has more pronunciations. The sin has a sh sound, and it also has a ch sound. So let's use the pronunciations of the Bantu, because they also have an S sound. It could be sa, ka, sha, ka, cha, ka. Why did they do this? Because these things sound too black, brothers and sisters. You see Shaka, Zulu, see his name there? You see Chaka Khan. Come on, brothers and sisters. Remember who this book was written for, and remember where they brought us from, the west coast of Africa. Everything we've learned here in America are from the Europeans. Now, how did they get a oo sound when there is no vowel between the sin and the kaf, which is a wa, or what the Bantu language calls a woo? Look at the top. The first letter is a sin, or semicolon. The second letter is a woo, or a wa. The third letter is a kaf. The fourth letter is a woo, or wa again. And the last letter looks like a hey, but you see it's connected. The last letter would be a tasad. Gives you that T sound. Okay, so let's put all the letters together. We already have our vowel, which is the woo. Let's see how we would pronounce this. Sukut. If we use the Bantu language, it'll be shukut or chukut. And then we have the Jews, they say Sukkah. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? Now, what is supposed to be the meaning of this word with the three letters? Look what it says. Feminine of H5520, a hut. First definition is hut. Or lair. A lair is like where a bear or a lion in a cave. We never were cave dwellers. We built huts. Do you see the line that comes from hut or lair? It goes straight to booth. That comes from the Jews. Then the Europeans also added, it could mean cottage. No, it doesn't. It means hut. Covert, pavilion, and there's that word tabernacle, H5521. That is also a European word. And then you have the word tent. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? Remember who this book was written for. It was written for you. It was not written for them. They have to transform everything that they find in this book and make it look European, just like that name Leviticus, so that they can add their God in the name. Verse 37, these are the feast of H3068. His name is Yahuwah. Moses is getting ready to do his summary here. He's telling you that these are his feasts. All the way from verse 1, straight on down. What was the first feast mentioned? The weekly Sabbath. How did we miss that? If the moon is the sign of feast, isn't it the sign of your Sabbaths also? Think about that. Why do we go to the renewed moon to find the feast days and then go back to the Gregorian calendar to find our Sabbaths? Have you ever thought about that? Does that make any sense? Well, if you have the wrong days to start from the dark moon, from the full moon, from the solar calendar, you got double trouble. Because then you're going to go back to the Gregorian calendar to find his Sabbaths. But they're not Yah's Sabbaths, they're somebody else's. That's why he said you must hold to his Sabbaths, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, gatherings. We know we can't do that in the land of our captivity. We can't even do it in our homes this year because of this coronavirus. To offer an offering made by fire unto H3068, his name is Yahuwah. So we know we can't offer anything. But Yahusha, our high priest, is satisfying this on our behalf in heavenly realms. What is he satisfying, Brother David? A burnt offering, a meat offering, a sacrifice, and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Hey, they're doing this on Yah's day. They're not doing it on the Jews' day, the Israelite brothers' day, the Pope Gregory's day, Yah's day. You need to get on board. There's only one way to find Yah's day. It's through the lunar events in the sky. The sun transfers its light to the moon. The moon doesn't have any light. These two bodies work together in perfect synchronization. The sun transfers its light to the moon in increments, 1/2 of a 7th part, which equals 1/14th part of light, and you watch the light grow on the moon in quarters. Every quarter is a week. Every quarter has a Sabbath. 4 quarters a month. 4 Sabbaths a month. It is absolutely perfect. But yet, we go to the ways of men. It's the only thing we know. They have changed times and laws. But let's just talk about time. Why would they go through so much trouble to change the time? It's because of you, Yasharal, to keep you from your master. As long as you don't wake up, they will continue to rule. Are you with me? Verse 38. Besides the Sabbaths of H3068, he has Sabbaths, not singular, plural. All of his Sabbaths, listen to me, you find it through the lunation of the moon. Then your weekly Sabbaths are listed in a row. For example, this month, all of our Sabbaths will be on Friday. When you look at the Feast of Tabernacles, it's going to start when? In the evening of Thursday into Friday, from Thursday evening to Friday evening. That's our regular weekly Sabbath. But in the end, it bypasses that 7th day, that 22nd day Sabbath, and it takes you to the 23rd day, which is the 8th day. You see that? He transferred it to the 8th day. There's another one, Pentecost, transferred to the 8th day of the week, not the 7th day of the week. That's how you know you got the right time. His feast will fall on your Sabbaths. Do you understand? Everything is synchronized perfectly. You cannot beat this. We've tried every equation to destroy this one or to break it down. It is totally impossible. And besides your gifts, and besides your vows, and besides your free will offerings, which ye give unto H3068, when we get into the kingdom, brothers and sisters, we're going to be so happy to give these offerings and everything unto Yahuwah. We're going to just be excited with our beautiful robes coming to the temple to worship before the gate. Verse 39. Also, in the 15th day of the 7th month. Oh my goodness. Let's say you're starting from the full moon. We're talking about the Israelite brothers only. Listen to me. Let's say you're starting from the full moon. Your count is starting from the full moon. So you have to find your feast. The full moon represents the 15th day. Are you with me? So you're going to start your count from there? What happened to the 15 days it took to grow to get full? You've dismissed that? But you're going to start your count to the 15th day, right? And all of your feasts are connected to a harvest. You got me? And if you start your count to the 15th day, and 15th day represents day 1 in your mind, you're going to come to the 30th day. What are you going to come to? The dark moon. Why are they so into this dark moon? The Jews start from the dark moon They start their count from there. The Israelite brothers start their feasts from the dark moon. These feasts are connected to a harvest. He gave them light in the evenings for their celebrations and their parties. But the Israelite brothers is going to lead you to darkness. You're going to start your feast on the 30th day of the month, which represents the prior month, and take it into the next month. When you have studied this for yourself, from an academic standpoint, you will find that all of these people are in error, and they won't correct themselves. But you don't have to follow them. Check it out for yourself. And then you can correct yourself. It's a dangerous thing when a person can't be corrected. That's called pride. It's called cognitive dissonance. Pride comes before the fall. So in the 15th day of the seventh month again. You see how tough time is? They've circumvented time. If you start from January, you won't be where we are today, will you? If you start your day from 12 midnight, and Yah starts his day from the evening when you see the slither of light, you see you're off, 12 hours or so? Everything they've done is to circumvent time. Why is this so important? Because the mark, the sign that you belong to him, is to be on his days. If they can strip you of that, they can strip you of your salvation. The prerequisites to make it into the kingdom is to love Yahuwah's name. And then you have to hold to his Sabbaths. There's other Sabbaths out there. You have to hold to Yah's Sabbaths and his feast days, brothers and sisters. And the only way you can learn to do that is that you have to break open this book, study. And when you think that you got it all done, go back in and study some more. Now, let me show you it's connected to the harvest. When ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, everyone who understands how the lunar events work, they know when to plant their fields and they know when to reap their fields. And they can do it in the evenings at night because there's light that illuminates the land, brothers and sisters. Ye shall keep a feast unto H3068. Yahuwah. How many days? 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, a Shabbat. No Sabbath work can be done. And on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. Look, the regular weekly Sabbath, the 7th day, has been transferred to the 8th day. Can he do that? Yes, he can. He created this. The only other Sabbath that I know has been transferred to the 8th day is the Feast of Weeks. It comes in after the 15th. The Father is the master of time. If you want to be saved, you have to be on his time and love his name. Verse 40. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before H3068, Yahuwah, the supreme power of H430, the Elohim, for 7 days. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? So we're not to make it in advance. I mean, if we want to follow instructions like it's supposed to be done, you don't put it together and put your trees and everything together until that day. That's when you dress your shaka, saka, cha-ka. You dress it. You put your boughs on the top. We're going to put our sheets, which will be curtains, around the sides, just to keep out the sun. We're probably going to use black. We're going to have our frame already constructed, because that's one of the toughest parts. And then we're going to dress it on that day. We did all of this stuff for Christmas. We dressed that Christmas tree. This time we're doing this to follow the instructions of our mighty one. I wonder if this morphed into something that they call Christmas, because this has to do with the boughs of goodly trees and branches and blah, blah, blah. Are you with me? What they do is they take what is in our book and then they twist it around and make something else out of it. Verse 41, and ye shall keep it a feast unto H3068, Yahuwah, for 7 days in the year. Okay, so it told you right here, not to the Elohim, to Yahuwah, their leader, their master. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You see that? Show me the statute to add a 13th month. You will never find it. It does not exist. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month, not the 8th month. They added a 13th month to the calendar. You've got to be very careful. Verse 42, ye shall dwell in huts. You see, H5521, we know it to be huts. First definition. Let's go with the first one, right? 7 days. Look who has to do this. All that are Yasharalite born shall dwell in huts. He didn't say anything about European born. But they do this, don't they? No one else is told to do this but those who were blood, seed, you. We have forsaken our mighty one. And our enemies have taken hold of this, yet not truly, because they don't have the right day. So they're just doing it in vain. But this is for us. Why is it for us? He's coming to tabernacle only with us. Verse 43, that your generations may know that I, who is this I? See, they capitalized it here. It's Yahuwah. Some places they say he. My sister pointed that out to me on the comment board. And they have it lowercase h when it should be capital. Because we're speaking about the master of the universe, the creator of all things. You don't have the respect to put a cap in he? That your generations may know that I, his name is Yahuwah, made the children of Yasharol to dwell in huts. Did he make Europeans or anyone else dwell in huts? Only us. When I brought them out of the land of Egypt, he brought them out of the house of bondage. Look what he did next. He signed his name. But your enemies took it out. I am H3068, Yahuwah, the supreme power of H430, the Elohim. Verse 44. And Moses declared unto the children of Yasharol. Did he do it to anyone else? This is for you. Yet we have forsaken it. The feasts of Yahuwah, H3068. He wants to come and tabernacle with you. Will you turn that down for the feast of the Gentiles? Most of us will. Someone said to me the other day, you've been doing this, Brother David, for a few years. Why is it that you only have 400 and something people on your channel? As soon as I heard that, I know that they didn't understand. Wide is the path that leads to destruction. When you go to channels and they have a lot of numbers, that's a wide path. Small is the way that leads to eternal life. Narrow. Listen what it says. Only a few will find it. Your salvation lies in being on time with the master of the universe. If you're doing anything else, stop it. Learn how to be on his time. I've given many instructions. We are the people of his focus. Once we come back to his time, he's coming to get us. Because now we have learned our lesson. He sent his spirit to his servants. I am privileged and honored to serve him. I ask on a constant basis, why do you use me? I am so messed up. But he took this flawed man, and over these few years has transformed me into a beacon of light, the shining for all of those whom he has chosen to keep his ways and to come into his kingdom. They will find this channel, and they will learn the ways of Yah. Look who he's coming to tabernacle with. Revelation chapter 21, verse 10. And he carried me away in the spirit. Who carried him away? One of the Elohim. To a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem. Look at the number, G2419, descending out of heaven from God, G2316. All right, we know one thing for sure. We've investigated who God is. We know that he is not supposed to be in the text in all of these places. When you go to G2316, you're going to find theos in the Greek text. You know what they say about that? Of uncertain origin. They know the origin. These are their gods. They've been calling on it before they even had our book. They just transferred the name of their God into our book. Then when you look a little deeper, go down all the way as far as you can go, you're going to find a Hebrew script for G2316. You know who it's going to speak of? The Elohim, or the Alayam. Those are angels, as far as what we know in this English term. Brothers and sisters, they have transferred the Elohim into the New Testament, and they put the same heading, God, and they've covered it up. But if you seek it out, you will find what they are doing. This is why we're going line by line. We can't play any games anymore. We have to investigate everything. Like this. Jerusalem, G2419. Take a look at this. This is the Greek lexicon, Strong's, G2419. Jerusalem, transliteration, Jerusalem. Look at the pronunciation. E. See that? They're stressing the E. Ru, sa, lam. 4 syllables. Look at the root word etymology. Of Hebrew origin. Of course it is. This is our father's land. Hey, this is the Hebrew script. Hebrew reads from right to left. The first letter is a yod. How is it pronounced? Ya. We got our first syllable. Ya. The second letter is a rush. How is it pronounced? Ra. The third letter is a wa. How is it pronounced? Woo. So you put the rush and the woo together. What do you have? Ru. Second syllable. The fourth letter is a shin. How is it pronounced? Shh. You put your vowel after it, which is an ah, you have sha. All right, that's your third syllable. The fifth letter is a lamed. How is it pronounced? La. And the sixth letter is a mem. How is it pronounced? Ma. You put the 2 letters together with your vowel in between, which is an ah sound, you have lam. Let's put it all together. Yaru sha lam. Hey, listen to me carefully. What did they take out? Your father's name. Are you with me? Everything they do is to take out your father's name. In all of your transliterations, you're going to find that his name is absent. They make me so angry every time I go through this. Now let me tell you something else. In the Greek, there is no Y in Greek. So they replace it with an I or an E. Guess what else they didn't have in Greek? A sh sound. So they replaced it with an S. Sa. That's why they can't give you Yahusha. They gave you Yesu. Because they don't have the letters for his name. It wasn't meant for them. This is Hebrew origin. Do you see that? If it's Hebrew origin, then you are to pronounce it the way that the Hebrews do. You don't change it to the Europeans. They're the conquerors. Back to Revelation chapter 21, we're going to begin again at verse 11. Having the glory of Yahuwah, not God. Yahuwah. What is this that has the glory of Yahuwah? That great city. The holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Yah. And her light was like unto a stone, most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Jonathan was trying to describe the ship/city that he saw coming down from the heavens, 1,500 miles one side, 1,500 miles, the other side, 1,500 miles, the other side, and 1,500 miles, the other side. That's a square. And then it says it's 1,500 miles high. It was huge, brothers and sisters. Verse 12. And had a wall great and high, 1,500 miles, and had 12 gates. And at the gates 12 Elohim. And names were written on those gates, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children, seed, bloodline of Yasharal. Did you see anyone else included? Did you see the 12 tribes of Ishmael? Did you see the church included? Did you hear anything about the Jews? No. Bloodline. Who's he coming to tabernacle with? You. You're going to turn this down so you can function like your captors? You can't do that, brothers and sisters. If you were to read the whole thing, which I want you to, you'll see it had 12 foundations also, which are the 12 apostles. Were the apostles European? They were not. They were Yasharal. They made us think that they were European just by the names that they gave them. And then you have that photo of the white man with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, and they said that that's the Mashiach. And all these years we looked at the white people and we said, they are just like the picture, so they must be related to our Mashiach. Foolishness. We look like the Ethiopians, Yahuwah said. We know that white skin in the Bible is considered to be a curse. What happened to Miriam when she spoke against Moshe? What happened to her? He turned her white. Everyone moved away from her. They put her outside of the camp. Moshe interceded on her behalf so she can be brought back into the camp after she was healed 7 days. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? I can give you a lot more, but this is not the venue for that. Who's the master of the universe, the creator of all things, coming to tabernacle with? Those who have overcome. Those who have kept his commandments. They will have the right to the tree of life. They will be able to enter into the gates of the city. What gates of the city? Right here. The holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Yah. He's coming to tabernacle with us. Okay, this weekend, starting Saturday evening, we're going to start our fast. The Day of Atonement, very important. It's a good thing it's on the weekend, on a Sunday. Most of us will be off, so we don't have those excuses. He said the soul that goes to work or does any work on that day, going to be cut off from the congregation. He says that the soul that does not afflict themselves on that day shall be cut off from the congregation. The word for affliction is anah. When you look up that word, you're not going to really see the word fast, but you see the word affliction. On that day, you should be in turmoil. Our ancestors, what they did was that they put on sackcloth and ashes. Sackcloth is uncomfortable. It's like a potato sack and has these little prickly thorns or something sticking out. And believe me, putting that on is uncomfortable. And they put ashes on their heads. And they didn't eat. You cannot eat from the evening to evening. You're afflicting yourselves. The key to this word is affliction. Now, it never, ever, I have not found it yet, that it mentions that your children should be afflicted. But we're going to cover them anyway, because affliction is a wide horizon, isn't it? All right, so for the kids, you can't starve them out, because if they report that at school that they had to fast and you didn't give them any food, they may come to your house and arrest you and accuse you of something. So make them a sandwich or something for the next day. Don't give them anything that they enjoy. No chips, no cookies, no juices, no sweets. They're going to have their sandwich and water only. You're going to take away all of their devices. You're going to take away your device, your cell phone. Unless you use your cell phone in order to watch me. On that day is the day that you should apply yourself and try to learn how to find Yah's day, how to explain it. Because people are going to come to you to ask you why you do the things that you do. Why is your Sabbath always floating around? If you can't explain it, you've dropped the ball again. Now, if you're new to the channel, you shouldn't understand. But if you've been here for a while, you should be able to explain this just like me. You should be able to find Yah's day. You shouldn't need assistance anymore. You should have grown into this thing. Remember, his time is your mark. It is a sign. It is a symbol. It's in your forehead, brothers and sisters. You need to learn how to do it. And on the Day of Atonement, you have plenty of time to learn. Then after the evening of Sunday, your Day of Atonement is done. Now you can eat. You're going to be merry. You're going to be happy. And you can drink, and you can go about your business. Then on the 3rd, on the Gregorian calendar, in the evening, which symbolizes the 14th day in the evening on the calendar that's in the sky, we're going to begin our feast, the Feast of Tabernacles. You cannot go to work on that day. No servile work can be done, but you can work in your home because you're going to prepare for a party. You're going to eat, you're going to drink, you're going to be merry, you're going to rejoice before Yahuwah. It's going to be a full moon. Pull out the trumpets again and blow the trumpet at the full moon on our feast day. Then after that day, which starts from the evening of the 3rd to the evening of the 4th, now you're going to have 7 days in between. I didn't say 6, I said 7. Because usually 6 days goes to your next Shabbat, which would be on the 7th day. But we're going to bypass during this feast the 7th day Sabbath, which is on the 22nd on the lunar calendar. We're going to bypass that 7th day Sabbath, and it's going to be transferred to the next day, which will be the 8th day. Look on your calendar and you will see it. So you're going to have 7 days in between. You can go to work on those days. But when that 8th day comes, no servile work can be done. You're going to eat. You're going to drink. You're going to be merry. You're going to hang out in your Sukkah. 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 If you're able to make one big enough to dwell in and to eat outside. If not, you're going to make a representation in your home. Everyone can do this. Just show the Father that you're on his time. You're living in an apartment. You can't build a big hut right there in the apartment. So just build something. Go out there and cut you down some leaves and put it on the top and make your representation of the hut in your house. And your master will be well pleased. Now, if I missed anything as usual, hit me up on the comment board. But I want you to study for yourself. We cannot use these excuses. You have to do the study, put in the work. I presented you all of the material. Brothers and sisters, praise be to Yahuwah. Enjoy his feast. This may be the last Feast of Tabernacles that we carry out in the lands of our captivity. Shalom.